Speaker. I'm delighted to rise and speak to the Electoral Disqualification of Sentenced Prisoners Amendment Bill, and I applaud my colleague Paul Quinn for bringing this bill to the House. And can I just set a few matters on the record? The fact of the matter is that any prisoner convicted for 3 years or more is disqualified from voting. Now, that hasn't changed for a number of years, including the 9 long years of opposition by the Labour Party. So they were quite happy for that to happen, for prisoners that have been convicted for 3 years or more to be disqualified. So they were happy enough with that. So you just wonder what all their arguments are about in regard to just making sure that all prisoners who have been convicted are disqualified. Why should you discriminate on the term of the conviction? So I think it actually levels out that playing field. And can I say that the majority of submitters, yes, they opposed the bill, but they wanted to give all prisoners a vote. They wanted to do away with that prohibition for those that were convicted for 3 years or more. They wanted to give all prisoners the vote. They weren't just opposed to this particular bill. They actually took it a step further in the main. So what essentially this is doing, you've got prisoners who are convicted for 3 years or more who are denied the vote. So my colleague, Paul Quinn, has quite rightly said, well, that's a bit unfair. Anyone who's convicted should be deprived of the vote, not just those who've got a conviction of 3 years. And that's 3 years or more, and that's pretty sensible, because the rationale for having that prohibition in the first place still stands. And so I'm proud to stand beside my colleague Paul Quinn and support this bill through the House. And I'd just like to say that the boy racer bill is working because cars aren't being crushed. If those young fellas and fellesses were transgressing the law, their cars would go under. Their cars would go under. And I'd just like to make one other point, that the committee is run in accordance with the standing orders, and if a decision is made, it's made by the majority, and unfortunately Cosgrove can't handle it.